Hello everyone, and welcome to this presentation comparing two major approaches to implementing business process management or BPM solutions within organizations. We'll dive into the traditional BPM implementation methodology versus the newer headless BPM approach. By the end of this session, you'll have a clear understanding of what BPM is, the key characteristics of each implementation pattern, how they differ, suitable use cases for each, and important factors to consider when selecting the right BPM solution for your organization's needs. Before we dive into the specifics, let's take a quick overview of what we'll be covering in today's module. Firstly, we'll begin with an exploration of what is BPM, where we'll delve into the classic definition of business process management. Following that, we'll take a closer look at traditional business process management implementation alongside headless business process management implementation. Afterward, we'll engage in a discussion about the comparison and use cases of different BPM implementations. Lastly, we'll conclude by addressing the key factors to consider when choosing your BPM solution. But first, let's define what business process management or BPM is. Business process management is a methodology and toolset designed to optimize and manage end-to-end business processes across an organization. The core goals are to streamline operations, enhance efficiency and agility, and boost overall productivity. BPM tools provide capabilities for modeling, automating, executing, monitoring, and iteratively improving business processes. Having robust business process management practices in place allows organizations to gain visibility into processes, identify bottlenecks, and continuously refine processes for better business outcomes. The traditional approach to business process management implementation involves deploying BPM software suites that come packaged with built-in user interfaces for designing, executing, and monitoring business processes. These solutions typically have a monolithic architecture where the process management engine, workflow capabilities, integrations, and user interfaces are all tightly coupled together as an integrated product. Traditional BPM tools are designed for comprehensive end-to-end process lifecycle management within a single unified platform. However, integrating them with existing enterprise systems often requires extensive customization effort. This implementation pattern is well suited for organizations with clearly defined, consistent processes and a preference for centralized control over the process management infrastructure. Here's a high-level architectural overview of what a traditional business process management implementation looks like. At the front-end layer, we have user interfaces built using the BPM product's portal or UI toolkit. The middleware layer handles integration through custom services developed specifically for that BPM product. The process orchestration, workflow automation, and business rules management is taken care of by the BPM engine itself. And finally, the persistence layer utilizes databases like Oracle, Postgres, or others supported by the BPM product. All of these layers are tightly integrated and coupled together in this monolithic architecture pattern. On the other hand, the headless business process management implementation approach decouples the process automation and management capabilities from the user interface layer. It has an architecture that separates the core process engine from any front-end applications, exposing process services through APIs instead of bundled UIs. This allows the process layer to flexibly integrate and orchestrate processes across a diverse range of user touchpoints, be it mobile apps, web portals, conversational interfaces, or custom applications. By being front-end agnostic, headless BPM enables truly agile, scalable development and deployment of process-driven applications. It better aligns with modern scenarios requiring versatility and faster time to market. Organizations looking to innovate and integrate processes into new digital experiences can benefit tremendously from this implementation pattern. Let's visualize what a headless business process management architecture looks like. At the front-end layer, developers have the freedom to build user interfaces using modern UI frameworks and libraries like React, Angular, etc. These interfaces communicate with the process layer through secure APIs, without any direct coupling. The middleware layer can integrate processes by leveraging enterprise service buses, microservices, or other API management infrastructure already in place. The process orchestration, Workflow management and decision still reside in the core BPM engine capabilities. And as before, the persistence layer handles data storage and access through databases. Now that we've covered the core concepts behind each approach, let's do a side-by-side comparison of some key differences. Architecture. Traditional BPM has a monolithic, tightly integrated architecture where the process engine and user interfaces are coupled. Headless BPM follows a decoupled architecture, with the process layer separated from front-ends and exposed via APIs. Flexibility and integration. The traditional approach offers limited flexibility for integration due to its monolithic nature. Any system integrations require extensive customization efforts. In contrast, Headless BPM inherits the flexibility to seamlessly integrate process services with any front-end application via APIs. Scalability and agility. Monolithic traditional BPM solutions can face scalability constraints and lengthier deployment cycles due to interdependencies across components. Headless implementations are generally more scalable, allowing for independent scaling of front-end and back-end process layers. They also enable much more agile, rapid development and deployment lifecycles by decoupling processes from UIs. Control and customization. With traditional BPM, there is a high degree of centralized control over the entire process lifecycle within one product. However, customizing or extending functionality is often complex. Headless BPM enables more distributed controls, with easier customization possibilities by separating process and front-end layers as per requirements. When it comes to suitable use cases, traditional BPM implementations tend to be a good fit for scenarios like complex banking processes and financial operations that require robust controls and auditing. Manufacturing workflows with consistent, predefined process steps. Regulatory compliance processes that benefit from the centralized governance of traditional BPM. On the other hand, a headless BPM approach works very well for modern use cases such as e-commerce order management and fulfillment processes spanning multiple channels, telecommunication service provisioning and activation processes across products, agile development processes within technology companies that need to rapidly integrate processes across various applications and touchpoints. As you can see, both traditional and headless BPM implementation methodologies have their unique strengths. Let's break down the factors to consider when choosing your BPM solution. First is process complexity. Assess how complex, dynamic and adaptive your core business processes are. More flexibility favors headless. Secondly, integration requirements. Consider the extent of integration needed across your existing systems, channels, and applications. Headless enables simpler integrations. Next is scalability and agility. Factor in your projected growth and market responsiveness needs. Headless promotes scalability and agile process deployments. Then again, we need to consider customization needs. Understand your customization and extensibility requirements. Headless architectures can simplify this. And lastly, resource constraints. Realistically evaluate your IT budgets, staffing skills, and organizational readiness for managing each implementation approach. There are pros and cons to each pattern, so taking a balanced perspective on these factors is crucial before making a decision. That brings us to the end of this comprehensive session comparing traditional versus headless approaches to implementing business process management solutions. I hope you now have a solid grasp of the key concepts, architectural differences, strengths, use cases, and selection criteria we discussed. If any questions remain, please feel free to ask in the comments section below. You can also email for further discussions. Thank you for your time and engagement. Please show your support by liking this video and subscribing to the channel for more insightful content.